Hi, welcome to Cornell Farms. My name's Ethan, and today I want to talk to you about growing seeds indoors. Now, some of us are itching to get back out into our vegetable gardens, living our life amongst our tomatoes and peppers and basil and carrots and all those fun things. But we're still mid-March. We're in Portland, Oregon, so things are still a little bit too cool. Had a couple sunny days, but we've also had some freezing in the evening. So, if you want to get ahead of the curve and have some fun, we can bring our garden indoors and start our seeds with us inside. So to start, I have some EB Stone seed starter soil. This is a perfect light mix. It's not going to be too dense for our little seedlings. They don't want a dense soil. You don't want to just grab dirt from outside or from another potting bag. You want something nice and light and fluffy, something preferably with a lot of pumice, maybe some peat moss in there. But we highly recommend using the EB Stone's soil or seed starter mix. So what I'm going to do is I have my soil in here. I'm going to give it a light watering. Make sure the soil is nice and moist before I pack them into my cells. This way, I don't have to give each cell a full watering after I've planted the seed. And that way I avoid running the risk of displacing the seed that's already in the pot. You don't want it to float to the top. I'm going to pack each cell here. You want to pack it, but you don't want to do it as tight as possible, obviously. You want to keep it nice and loose so that our seedling has room to grow. Now I'm leaving a little bit of room here at the top, about a quarter inch to a half inch, but closer to a quarter inch. The seeds that I'm doing today, they're Supremo and Brandywine tomatoes. They both like to be planted at a depth of about a quarter inch. So I'm going to leave a little space, that way I can just place the seeds in there and then top it off with dirt. Kind of see a little bit of space in here. It's important that you check the back of your seed packets to make sure that you're planting at the correct depth. Just because they're the same species, like all the variations of tomatoes, doesn't mean they all want to be planted at the same depth. They can greatly vary from one seed to another. Now my cells are potted. I'm going to dump just a few of each seeds into each mix. I got 3 in that one. Alright, now my seeds are in there, so I'm going to top each one off with a little bit more dirt. Alright, so the two most common problems people run into with starting seeds are not enough light and overwatering, or underwatering, but most often it's overwatering. Our seedlings, when it comes to water, they like to stay moist, but they don't want to be soaked. The roots need room to breathe. If you put too much water in there, the roots can't pull oxygen from the soil and the air that's mixed into the soil. So they're going to suffocate. So it's good to use a gentle little pourer like this, or a gentle watering can like this. Something that's not going to displace the seed, something that's not going to pour out a harsh stream of water that will disrupt the soil and possibly bring the seeds to the top. And you just want to keep an eye on it, make sure it's moist, never soaking. Some people, if they have plastic cells, what they do is they just plop them in some water and let them soak up water from the bottom, and that's an easy way to reduce the risk of overwatering. So the other problem is light. A lot of the vegetables that we like to grow in our garden come from a lot closer to the equator. Tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, all these things come from places where it's a lot brighter and a lot more humid. So we need to kind of recreate that in our house. If you already have a humid house, you can go with something like the SunBlaster Growlight Garden. It has a perfect light in here that's adjustable up and down, and it has these trays that prevent your cells from sitting in water after watering it. We like to use this one for fun over here at Cornell Farms. But if you don't have a humid house, I recommend going with some sort of biodome, some sort of, they call them micro greenhouses or nano domes. This one is also by SunBlaster, and we carry both these at home. So this is a nice, more or less a giant Tupperware that'll retain moisture after you've watered, and you purchase it with one of these lights. The lights goes in between the roof here, and that way you've got your own little mini greenhouse. Perfect for things like tomatoes. So once you have your cells potted, you put them underneath your light. And you're going to want to run them under light about 6 hours a day, if not more, 6 to 8 hours. You'll want to check on them daily. Make sure that they're staying moist, not overwatered, not too dry. They don't require a lot of work, you just do have to check on them every day. Now, once your plant's reached about 3 inches tall, if you have multiple seedlings in each cell, you're going to want to separate those into their own pots. That way, when they start to take off, their roots don't get mixed up and they have plenty of room to grow. Once your plants reach about 6 to 7 inches, you're going to want to start acclimating them to the weather outside, also called hardening them up. So what that is you'll take your plants and you'll put them outside little by little until they're ready to be outside full time. Usually we do that over a 2-week process, where the first day they might be outside for about an hour, and by the last day they'll be outside for almost the whole day. You have to be attentive though to what the weather is outside. If it's 95 degrees, or if there's a windstorm or a rainstorm, or it's about to freeze, you got to make sure that you're not putting your plants outside like that until they're ready. So the first day, again, put them out for about an hour in some nice gentle sunshine, take them back inside and let them recoup. And little by little, the gentle breezes, the harsher sun, this will all fortify the plant so that it can develop the nuclear strength it needs to be grown outside. And then once there's no more freezing temperatures, once the nighttime temperature doesn't drop below 50 degrees anymore, it's time to plant them outside. And I know with things like tomatoes, they love fertilizers, so we usually put them in with some Sure Start by EB Stone. And then about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, we'll fertilize them with the tomato vegetable food by EB Stone as well. I hope you learned something today. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave it below. Thanks for joining us here at Cornell Farms.